Yo, YouTube, what is up? Welcome back to the Radar for Wrestling Studios.
What up, Mox?
Guys, Friday SmackDown finish up. We have two takeaways from an interesting show. We had a title swap on this show. We had double pin spot. We had Adam Pearce get involved in a storyline completely. And some interesting revelations happening for Royal Rumble and the Universal Championship. We got a lot to get into. There was that gauntlet match at the end of the show to, see who will face Roman at Royal Rumble. And we got our answer, and it's not the answer we were expecting or the answer that we wanted. So we got a lot of things to get into on episode of SmackDown. Also, at the end of the video, after our SmackDown review, we're going to go over some rumors, rumors about Jay White coming to WWE and some NXT call-ups that were, one of them being axed and not being brought up when they were supposed to, and future call-ups as well. So we got a couple of news and rumors for you at the end of this video. Make sure you stay there and you stay tuned and you watch the end of the video, because that's where you're going to get the rumors and the news we're going to drop for you guys about, those superstars. Also, time it is. If you're watching the video, just smash the like button on the video in the previous videos. If you're watching and not subscribed, please do subscribe to the channel notification bell so you get a little bit of new videos drop. Make sure to follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, all that stuff. TikTok, the same handles. Links in the description section below. You already know. Click on those links. All that good stuff. Make sure you check out my top 10 WWE Superstar returns. It'll be up in the corner of the screen right now. Click on that after the end of the video, and you guys check that video. It's a real good one. All right, so without further ado, let's get right into two takeaways from Friday Night SmackDown. Friday Night SmackDown started off with Roman Reigns in the ring, and he's calling out Adam Pearce. Adam Pearce obviously gave that match to Kevin Owens last week against Jey Uso, and the whole thing happened with Jey, Roman, and Uso getting Kevin
was pissed.
Yeah, he was big time pissed, getting thrown off the thing, KO. So he's upset. He's blaming Adam Pearce now about the gauntlet match that's going on to see who will face Roman at the Royal Rumble. He wants Adam Pearce to get in the gauntlet match so he can face Adam Pearce and get his revenge on Adam Pearce at the Royal Rumble, which I thought was pretty interesting. It was a good promo by Roman, as per usual. I mean, Pearce himself, he's not really, nobody really knows who he is as a casual wrestling fan, but he's a 5-time NWA World Heavyweight Champion, so he does have that in his credit. So it was a good promo from Roman Reigns to start off the show, belittling Adam Pearce. Next thing in the show, Intercontinental Championship match, Big E versus Apollo Crews, match that was set up last week. Two faces going against each other. Big E is doing very well in his new role. He's showing a little bit of aggression, but ending is weird. It goes to a draw because, because they pin each other. So they pin each other at the same time. They restart the match, and then Big E defeats Cruz, with a pinfall to retain the Intercontinental Championship. So a lot of hoopla there for no reason.
Yeah, too much hoopla for no reason. Like, they could have done something a little smoother. I know they want to keep Apollo strong, but that was very weird.
They could have just had Apollo take him to the limit and then end the match with a win by Big E anyways, because he's going to win the match anyway. So what was the point of double pin being
dumb?
Dumb. Next thing on the show. Before this, we had Sonya Deville show up. Remember, she debuted last week on Friday Night SmackDown.
In a very awkward way.
Yes, very awkward, non-impactful way. She shows up here. She's talking to Adam Pearce, trying to sweet talk Adam Pearce, seeming give her the SmackDown GM job is what it seemed like, because she was giving her input on the matches. So a lot going on there. Then next thing on the show, we had a SmackDown Tag Team Championship match. Street Profits, the champions, taking on Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode. And this is takeaway number one, because the picture behind us, you see the new champions. There's a new set of tag team champions, Robert Roode, Dolph Ziggler, and a tremendous matchup between the two tag teams. Very, very good matchup between both teams. And you have new SmackDown Tag Team champions. A lot of people are upset because the Profits lost, but I think it's the right move. I think the Profits are probably better off chasing than they are holding it right now. And they got to build the division. They just have to. So they have to have other people win the title and have a run and see if it works out and see if they succeed in those roles, because that's what you need, a stronger tag team division.
Yeah, I mean, they had it for a year, so who's ever mad, it's like they had a hell of a run. I mean, how many tag teams go a year with undefeated? So, that's a huge step for them, and they're still relatively a new tag team. They haven't been around that long, so it definitely, they had a great run. And like you said, it's time for them to get something more interesting where they're working from the knee. They have to build a new storyline. You have a heel tag team now champs, two guys that can go, two guys that are credible. I mean, Dolph and Bobby Roode, they're two top guys. Those guys can literally, if booked right, can be in a championship feud with somebody because they're that good. So, I mean, I don't mind it. I think, like you said, they have to build a division up. The division is very weak, and we just got to get new storylines going. We can't have the champs, just being the champs all the time. You got to change stuff, chase stuff. People have, you got to change things up. It's been stale for a while. So, I mean, they had a great run. It's over. I'm sure they'll get it back in the future, but right now, Bobby Roode and Dolph Ziggler are the team. And who can complain about those two guys being tag team champs? I mean, are you serious?
Yeah, I mean, you can't really complain about it. It is what it is. They've been a tag team for a minute now, so like them winning it is fine. Have the Profits chase them now, and you can have another tag team thrown in there, so you could build the division and continue to grow it. But 100%. That's takeaway number one: new tag team champions Robert Roode and Dolph Ziggler. Next thing in the show, we had Paul Heyman address Adam Pearce in the back, and he gets Adam Pearce into the matchup. So he does get Adam Pearce into the gauntlet match, which is a major surprise. You kind of knew writing was on the wall at that point what was going to happen. We do have a promo from Carmella talking trash about Sasha Banks, so that feud will continue going into the Royal Rumble. We had Bianca Belair declare she's in the Royal Rumble, the favorite in many people's eyes to win the Royal Rumble. So let's get to the main event. The gauntlet match to see who faces Roman Reigns at the Royal Rumble. It starts off with Rey Mysterio, Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn comes out with his own camera crew because he's filming a documentary about how he's the People's Champion, the rightful Intercontinental Champion. He gets beat like in 9 seconds by Rey Mysterio. So a disastrous showing for Sami Zayn there. I'm not really sure what that was all about, why that needed to happen, but it happened. The next man in was Shinsuke Nakamura. Surprising that he was in this matchup because he still is in the tag team with Cesaro, I believe. So surprised to see him in here. But he takes Mysterio to the limit, beats Mysterio. Then he takes on Corbin in the next matchup in the gauntlet match, beats Outlast Corbin. Then he takes on Daniel Bryan and beats and outlasts Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan shakes the man's hand, and Shinsuke Nakamura has a tremendous showing in here, but gets the complete rub, right? So it'll be part of the takeaway. But here comes Roman Reigns with Jey Uso in hand. They beat the living hell out of Shinsuke Nakamura, and then Adam Pearce, the final contestant in the number one contenders gauntlet for the Royal Rumble, comes in. They beat him down, and they just throw his lifeless body on top of Shinsuke Nakamura, and this is gonna be takeaway number 2, because as you can see behind us, Adam Pearce is now gonna face Roman Reigns at the Royal Rumble. We've gotten Adam Pearce segments for months now of him just doing backstage stuff as like a agent.
It's part of his contract. He needs to be in every show all the time, at least once.
At least be on Raw and SmackDown at least once. This is totally different than what we've seen before. But he is a 5-time former NWA champion. He does have a wrestling background, stuff like that. But
still.
The main thing about this is Shinsuke Nakamura, right? For me, Shinsuke Nakamura had a tremendous showing here, so he gets the immediate rub and becomes a viable threat in a singles capacity because of the run he had here. Look at the guys he beat. He beat Rey Mysterio, Baron Corbin, Daniel Bryan, and then gets screwed over by Roman Reigns. So he has a stake and a claim at the championship scene because of that, and he would have won and faced Roman at the Royal Rumble if it wasn't screw job. So shout out to Shinsuke Nakamura. I thought this was smart. It was bad on the Sami Zayn part why they did that to him. Didn't make no sense. They should have had Nakamura just run through all the guys. Have Zayn, Nakamura, bust ass match. Remember the matchup they had at TakeOver Dallas? Tremendous match. Nakamura's
debut.
There.
That was an amazing night.
Yeah, that was an amazing night. Have those guys go at it, and then have Nakamura run the table until he gets to Adam Pearce and obviously gets screwed over. But that's a good showing from Shinsuke Nakamura, establishing himself again, hopefully after this, as a contender in a singles capacity.
Yeah, I mean, Shinsuke, we've been talking about it for months. I feel like over a year. He's just been used improperly. He was with Sami Zayn and Cesaro, and then became a tag team. Yep. And just like he was always a lackey, and they've wasted so much potential with him. It's been sad how they've used him. This guy was the biggest thing in Japan for years. When he came here, AJ and it was Shinsuke, right? Like they were kind of even. People were really excited about Shinsuke coming in. He did a great job, but ever since he lost to AJ Styles at WrestleMania a few years ago after he won the Royal Rumble, it's been just stop and go for him. It's been more stop than anything else. So it's good to see him get in there. Hopefully they're building another star. Maybe they're trying to build him for Big E going forward. I don't know. Maybe have an IC championship thing, or maybe that's the next feud coming after a Rumble is Roman versus Shinsuke. Who knows? Maybe he has a great showing at the Rumble. Maybe it's him in final 2. Maybe the guy from Raw wins. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But definitely a great way to do it. The Adam Pearce thing is interesting. I don't really know why that needs to be a match. I don't know. I'm not loving it. I don't know about you. I don't really. I like the Roman KO thing. It just should have gone with that. Maybe they'll change it on the way to Royal Rumble. There's still a few weeks left.
Yeah, that's what I think they'll do.
Yeah, I really don't need Adam Pearce. I don't know why he's even in the match. I don't know. It was very weird. Kind of out of place. The one little bump in the road so far, because it's been really great booking for Roman, and it's been nothing Roman did in this one. I just think the booking here just doesn't really
make much sense.
Vibe. It doesn't make any sense, and no one's really excited for that match if it happens. So it's kind of a waste of time. I feel like KO and Roman one more time is where it's going to end up regardless. This kind of feels like a stupid bump in the road for no reason.
Yeah, I don't think anybody wants to see them two go in a match, and then in the match itself has to be a complete and utter squash, because you're going to have a guy, even though he has former wrestling, experience and he's been a champion in other promotions, but he hasn't wrestled in forever. And him just showing up, taking on your top guy, and actually giving him a contestful matchup makes no sense whatsoever. So
and this is an NWA and JCP back in the 80s or the 70s, where Ric Flair and Dusty Rhodes and names like that were champions. This is like NWA, basically indie wrestling that, who the fuck, you know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't really do anything for anybody. So we'll see where this goes. I would be really surprised if the match at Rumble is Roman versus Adam Pearce.
They're gonna throw a wrench in there and kind of change things up. But guys, that's takeaway number 2. Tremendous show by Shinsuke Nakamura, and we're getting Adam Pearce, Roman Reigns is right now at the Royal Rumble, and that is our review for SmackDown, or 2 takeaways. That was the show. Another good show from SmackDown. They continuously put out these good shows, but it's good stuff. Now let's get into some of the rumors and news out there. As we get to the news and rumors, so rumor number 1 was Damian Priest was supposed to come up last week, and they're gonna implement him into the storyline with Kevin Owens and Roman Reigns. It was nixed. He obviously lost to Karrion Kross, and he looks like he's on his way up now. Daniel Bryan has been heard to have said that he wants more NXT call-ups, more people to show up on the roster. So we could see Damian Priest very, very soon. He did lose to Karrion Kross this Wednesday on New Year's Eve, so he could see him next week, or we could see him at the Rumble or the night after the Rumble, something like that, show up on SmackDown, because Daniel Bryan does want, new blood in NXT, from NXT to come up to SmackDown and kind of shake things up and have more people on the show.
Yeah, I mean, it would have been dumb for him to just jump into that whole Kevin Owens thing feud. I'm glad Kevin Owens and Roman Reigns knew that was a bad idea.
Yeah.
It doesn't really make any sense. I don't know where he would have been thrown in and why he would have made any sense with KO or Damian or Roman Reigns' side. It doesn't really make any sense. Now, does Daniel Bryan really have any say in who comes up?
Yeah,
who comes
he's
down?
right now. He's currently part of creative as well as being a superstar.
Well, I didn't know that. So
he's both a superstar and a creative writer on SmackDown.
Okay. All right, I mean, it's always good to get fresh blood and get new stuff, and I trust Daniel Bryan, if he's in there, that he can get some let's make sure we don't waste the talent that we have coming up and put him in major roles or build them correctly. So let's call him up. Let's get some excitement going. SmackDown is a great show. I'm gonna say great. That's a big word, but I think it's an entertaining show. It's a good fresh 2 hours. If you throw some more guys in there every week, I mean, why not? Let's do it.
Yeah. So like I said,
thank God they axed the Roman Reigns.
That's the rumor from Dave Meltzer. Was supposed to happen last week. Priest being brought up and being thrown into that storyline, but it was nixed. It didn't happen. But him coming to SmackDown is still on the cards. You can see that pretty soon. Next person is none other than Rhea Ripley. She lost her matchup against Raquel Gonzalez at Last Woman Standing. Now, she could come out to Raw or SmackDown. I think SmackDown's more of a spot for her, but she's a big team superstar, so they may send her to Raw, with Bianca Belair just coming up to SmackDown recently as well. Carmella making her comeback, so she may go to Raw or SmackDown. But she said that she was gonna stick around in NXT, a few months back, and she was in the War Games match and all that. But now she lost to Raquel Gonzalez. She seems kind of be out of place right now, too big for NXT. So we could see her moving up, and this could be part of the Daniel Bryan call-ups as well. If she does come to SmackDown, he may have a hand in that, her coming up to SmackDown, and Rhea Ripley, and then making a big splash on the division there. We could see Ripley and Banks, Ripley and Bayley, Ripley and Bianca Belair. Could be good stuff. I think Ripley is more of a women's Royal Rumble surprise entrant, and then you see her on a brand after that.
Yeah, I'm going to disagree with you and just say she should be on Raw. I think Raw needs help in the women's division more than SmackDown does. I think there's still some good feuds, and they only have 2 hours. We have 3 hours on Raw, and we could all say 50 minutes of it are completely wasted on stupid things. So they might as well just throw her on there, have another interesting person. I think her and Bianca last two at the Rumble, that would be a nice little, this is the new generation of women, and this is they can push that forward. And I think it'll give both girls, whoever wins that, which I think will be Bianca, that's if we're being honest, will win it. I think it'll push them both forward if they can have a great showing in the last two. Yeah. I think that's a good way to book it. But I think she should go to Raw, because Raw really needs some help right now.
Raw needs a bit more. Yeah.
They brought back Charlotte, but Charlotte and Asuka are tag team champs, so they can't really go with each other. So they might need to throw somebody else in there in the mix to get Asuka either their belts off of her or get a feud going with somebody.
Yeah, Rhea Ripley, another person that stands out as a potential NXT call up, after her loss to Raquel Gonzalez. So the next person we're going to cover right now, the last rumor that we're going to cover is the rumors about Jay White. Jay White, NJPW talent, a former IWGP Heavyweight Champion, member of the Bullet Club. The Switchblade Jay White has reportedly, contract ending soon in New Japan, and that he's strongly suggested from inside of WWE that people are really pushing management to sign Jay White if he in fact does leave New Japan Pro Wrestling. Now, it seems like a guy at WWE who have no idea what to do with, right? Vince seems to, like, he probably doesn't know who he is. Vince has no idea what he's doing with him. He has no idea what his character is, what he's done in the past. So he's a perfect guy to show up in NXT and immediately be implemented into, like, you know, the big spot in NXT. So Jay White, really smart move if he would have come to NXT and WWE would bring him in. Whether it happens or not, I think he's more of like a AEW or Ring of Honor type if he does end up leaving. I think there's a stigma from WWE that he probably doesn't want to have anything to do with. And unless it's NXT, you know, NXT is appealing because he's seen a lot of the talent that's shown up there from the independent scene. They've thrived, flourished. Adam Cole, Finn Balor, Kyle O'Reilly, guys like that. Samoa Joe, Shinsuke Nakamura, those guys, they've all shown up there and they flourished and gone on to not really bigger and better things, but some of them have. Some of them, you know, kind of floundered in the main event scene, in the main roster scene, I'm sorry. And we could see Jay White eventually come to WWE if New Japan does not re-sign him, if he doesn't want to stay, and if he doesn't decide to go to AEW or Ring of Honor. So it'll be pretty interesting to see, but definitely NXT is a spot for him if he does come.
Yeah, this guy's one of the top guys in the world. I mean, he was former IWGP champ, so there's a lot going in there. Bullet Club leader. I think he'd work at NXT. I think he'd be, especially if they're going to call guys up to the main roster. You can always fluctuate like the roster and have new guys coming in. Jay White would freshen up. A guy that can quickly go into the main event picture or at least North American Championship picture. Again, good promos, good in-ring worker. He doesn't really have the vibe of a WWE guy, like you said. I think he's more of an AEW guy. He just has that feel of like a free soul that probably doesn't want to do that stuff. But I don't know. We'll see. They're saying it's 50-50 if he's going to sign Japan or sign elsewhere. So who knows at the moment. But definitely, I think NXT, it'd work. I think it would work just on paper. I think it could work where he can jump right into main event picture right away almost.
Yeah, so he is 50-50 from leaving. It does expire this month. His contract expires is what they're saying from New Japan. Had a tremendous showing at Wrestle Kingdom 15 against Ibushi. So a lot of big things there. Could be interesting to see. But guys, those are our news and rumors. Those are our 2 takeaways from Friday Night SmackDown. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Remember to like, comment on this video, all that good stuff. Click the links in the description below. Hit those playlists. Make sure you check out, like I said, my top WWE superstar returns, top 5 RKOs out of nowhere. Make sure you check out all those videos, those list videos that I put out, and those opinionated videos, all on playlist on the channel. Make sure you check those out. Appreciate you guys for watching. For those who are not doing the job.
Later, Mark.